Body bags were horror lies.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another week on the Body Bags. Dubbles at you again. So I got a late 80s throwback for y'all. Year I was born, 1989, and that's After Midnight. And this is actually a anthology horror, so you got some miniature tales. Opens up, the surrounding main story is like two new college students going to this new psychology class, Psychology of Fear, and ends up they have a pretty wild professor, and he ends up like kind of tormenting one of the students and scaring the shit out of him, and makes him wet himself in front of class, and he runs out and goes, and so after that he ends up inviting the students over to his house to have a private lesson, and of course some dumbass students actually do it, but just after they experience the first day, I don't know why you do that, but anyways, so go over to his house, private lessons, and they end up just getting there, and they end up telling stories of fear. So that's where your miniature stories come. So the first one's an old dark house. You got like a little haunted house miniature story. It was semi fun, probably maybe the funnest out of the three. The second one, girls not out of town. Four girls end up getting stranded without gas and stopping at a rundown gas station. It has creepy attendant and a bunch of ferocious dogs. That one was semi fair as well. And then the third one is a late night operator that worked for like a messaging services. That's some outdated shit these days. But anyways, she works for a messaging service over the phone, and she ends up getting complaints about a stalker. So it's kind of a whodunit, cat and mouse stalker story. So overall, the acting's pretty good. The crazy professor did a pretty good job, that kind of thing. As far as kills and scares, there wasn't much there, though. There really wasn't a whole lot of scares. Wasn't a whole lot of use of makeup. Not much gore at all, if any. I mean, it almost kind of had a made-for-TV kind of feeling. It's like, even Trilogy of Terror, which was a PG, I'm pretty sure, like a lighter rating. It had more scares and scares and maybe even more blood or anything like that, violence at least, than this one, I believe. That's one of my main complaints with this. It just didn't have a lot of action overall. It was kind of just slow pace. Kind of had a made-for-TV feel to it almost, but it wasn't. It's a legit R-rated flick from that. Like I said. Yeah, the second story, forgot to mention, girl who plays Jennifer in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is in it. So, I mean, that's cool to see another little, a horror role for her. She was pretty classic in Part 3, one of the best horror flicks, definitely one of the best in the franchise, in my opinion. Yeah, anyways, After Midnight, I was just kind of overall disappointed in it. In the overall scale of anthologies that I've seen, especially the 80s anthologies even, I mean, this would be lower on my list. It was kind of cut and dry and middle of the road. I mean, it has some decent nostalgic, like, fun. Like, it wasn't a bad flick per se, but, it just didn't have the thrill factor. It didn't have that replayability. I'm not going to come back to this flick over and over, I don't believe. But yeah, it is what it is, kind of thing. So I'd give it a 6 out of 10, being generous on it. Like I said, just for being an 80s throwback anthology, I give it some credit there, but it's just nothing special, guys. After Midnight. This is an MGM release. I kind of wondered if this would be a Scream Factory release, or this would be a good one to maybe throw on one of those 4 packs. They want to do some like older out of print MGM stuff. But it is, guys. Peace out, guys.